Hello, this is the third of 3 tutorials on creating different Hello World applications in Visual Studio in C#. This one we're going to create an ASP page. Active server pages are web pages with C# code. We can actually have other code, but we'll be looking at C# code running on the web page. And we'll be using this sort of application a lot along with Windows Forms. So here's kind of the code we're going to be going towards, but first let's start from scratch. So I got Visual Studio up and running. I'm going to go File, New Project. Now make sure we have Visual C# chosen, but rather than going to Windows, I'm going to go to Web. And I'm going to start with just this empty web application. Up here is my starting app. And again, give it a name as before, so I'm going to call it Unit 1 Hello World ASP. And again, these are being stored in these locations. I don't have to change any of this stuff. Hit OK. Now it doesn't start with a blank web page or anything like that with some of the, so we need to create a new web page. Also, if your toolbox is being shown, we're not going to be using the toolbox if it's not auto hiding. You can remember to click on the pin and have it go away. And so now we're going to create a new object within our project. I'm going to do under project, add new item. And there's web form here and HTML page. Let's start with an HTML page. We won't actually use that very much, but this time we'll just try one to try it out so you can see that. So I'm going to click on HTML page. I'm just going to have it say HTML page 1 for now. That's fine. Add it. So it creates an HTML page, and I can see it over here in my Solution Explorer. Here are my different files, and here's my HTML page 1. And when I click on that, it's opened up here. If you don't know HTML, I'll provide a couple links to simple introductions. We're not going to do a whole lot into HTML, but we do need you to know the basics. Things like HTML is made of a tag, so we have a head tag that starts and then a closing tag, which is the same as the starting tag but has a slash in it. You need to know things. So I know this is a body tag and this is the end of a body tag. So I'm going to go within our body. I'm going to enter a couple spaces, they don't matter here, and I'm going to type in hello world to display that. I can also put some tags around here just to be proper HTML. I'm going to put a paragraph tag. So again, tags are within a greater than and less than, and P is paragraph. And when I type in one tag, it automatically puts the end tag there. So I'm going to actually move this hello world, copy and paste that up here. So I've got the body, start of a paragraph, end of a paragraph, and end of the body here. Looks good, and then inside there it just says hello world. So that's my little program that I've entered in. Now we can run this, and it's select your default browser. My default browser is Google Chrome, so it's going to run this, but it could run Firefox or Internet Explorer or whatever you have installed. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to run. So I'm going to hit run, and it'll open this up as a web page. So here's my web browser, and it's running it on localhost. So it's just running it from my local machine here, and the web page is really simple. It just says hello world. Very simple web page. So I'm going to close this web browser up. But my application is still running. I can see that because I've got some call stacks and some debug stuff down here we'll learn about later. And I don't see the properties in Solution Explorer here. It reminds me I'm running the program. And so I'm going to hit the stop debugging here to stop the program, and then I'm back in edit mode, so I can edit my program. So that was an HTML page. We're also going to do the similar thing but with an active server and ASP forms page. So again, under project, add new item, and this time I'm going to create a web form. And we can leave the name the same, web form 1. Notice that it has ASP .x, so .aspx. So that's HTML pages are just HTML, and ASP pages, active server pages, are ASPX. And this will denote a special type of page, and it'll be run differently and loaded differently than an HTML page. So I want that extension there. I'm going to hit add. And so now in my Solution Explorer, I can see I've got my HTML page and I've got my web form.asp. So I can have these two. They're both open here. If for some reason I were to close them, I can click on the little X there. I can come over to Solution Explorer and open them up again. So there's the web form, the ASPX form, and here's my HTML page. So I want to go to the web form.aspx page, my ASP page. And just look at it again. It's in HTML, but now I can stick in some C# code in here. To start with, I'm just going to paste in the same code we have before. I'm going to grab this hello world code, and again, it's a little more complicated here. I have a body start and end tag, I have a form start and end tag, and I have a div start and end tag. Within all those tags, I'm going to put my paragraph tags here. Oops, I'm pasting, kind of goofed up my formatting, I see. So, something like that. So within my div begin and end, I'm going to say hello world. Now I can run this, and it'll run it just like an HTML page. Open it up in my web browser. It is just HTML. It's going to take a little longer because it's going to run on a little bit of code on the server, but here's my hello world showing up there. I'm going to close that and hit stop to get out of debugging. Remember, with ASP pages, I have to hit stop to get out of debugging. So now I'm going to add some code to this. So in order to do that, I have to look at this ASP page a little more closely. Now I notice over in the Solution Explorer that my HTML page is just a normal, simple page. It doesn't have anything to expand next to it. But my ASP page has a little triangle here that I can expand. And every ASP page has a couple of things associated with it. It has the original ASP page, but it also has a C# page associated with it and a designer page associated with it. So I'm only going to want to look right now at the C# page. So I'm going to double click on that and open that up. So so that's this webform1.aspx.cs, and this is the code that's running when this page is created and run. And there's a class called webform here, and there's one simple method called page load. We'll look at other methods later on, but just a page load. And this method is automatically run when the page is loaded up. So I'm just going to go here and paste some code, and I'm just going to display hello world on the screen again. So a simple way to do that is just with a command called response write. So I'm just going to type response.write, and it's capital R and capital W, but if you don't, it should autocorrect those for you. So capital R and response, capital W for write, and then parenthesis, and then what we want to display. I'm just going to say hello world again, in quotes, and then an end parenthesis, and then a semicolon to wrap up that statement. So that's our one C# statement, and it will be run automatically on the page load because it's in this page load method, and the page load method is called automatically when the page is loaded. Okay, so now I'm going to run this again. I should see two hello worlds. First the HTML hello world, and then the hello world again that the web page running. It's interesting to note that this is my first hello world, and then my second hello world, the ASP page, is actually run ahead of that because this is run as the page is loaded, and so it writes that all right away, and then it actually displays the text on the web page itself. But here's my two hello worlds. Okay, stop. Then again, I can save these projects. I often just click Save All to save all these different files because I have a couple different files that I've edited and opened up. So make sure you save those files. And again, one thing we'll watch is we created a simple HTML page, but more often we'll be creating these ASP pages in these forms and working with the C# file that's associated with each ASP page. So that wraps up this tutorial.